Hello, this is a training video on how to use the ResourceConnect provider chat. First thing we need to know is how do we get to it? Well, you could go to resourceconnect.com and then click on login, and you'll be taken to this login form where you put in your email and your password, and you have the choice of saying whether you want the computer to remember you. The first time you log in using this computer, you'll most likely see this screen. Because ResourceConnect is end-to-end encrypted, that means we have to actually put in an encryption key before you can begin to use the system on this computer. You should only ever have to do this one time for this computer. If you keep seeing this screen, you have to keep going through this process, let your administrator know, and they will tell you what to do to fix the problem. Your administrator will be the one to give you the encryption key. They've been told not to email it to you or text it to you. So they may hand it to you on a piece of paper temporarily. They may come over to your computer and type it in for you, or they may recite it to you over the phone. I have the encryption key copied here. It's going to be long and complicated like this. And then we can submit. And after we've submitted, we are now logged into the chat. If you want to add a bookmark so you can access the ResourceConnect provider chat later, you should bookmark this page instead of the login screen on the home page. We start off being in the internal messages section. The system is going to let us know who else within our organization is online. So right now we see that someone else here named Amanda is online. Let's say hi. Okay, so we're Jennifer, and now Amanda gets this message, and she can respond. Notice how you can see Amanda typing as she's typing. Okay, so now let's see what it looks like when someone has gone to your organization's web chat page. When they first log in, they might see something like this. They'll see your organization name and your custom welcome message. So maybe we can say hello like that. Now that that person is there, we see that we have somebody in our unassigned web chats category. And the conversation is highlighted in orange, reddish orange, so you know that you have some unread messages there. This is a 6-digit number that's just generated randomly for every person who's come to talk to you. This number has nothing to do with anything, it's completely random. It's just to help you separate between the different people who will be contacting you. So we can click on this conversation, and now it's switched over to see what this person has said. Notice that it's very visually different when you're talking with internal people, it'd be this purple background, versus people on the outside. This is intentional to make it so you don't accidentally say something to somebody seeking support from you that you was intending to say to colleagues within your organization. All right, so let's say we want to respond to this person. Notice how this chat box for us to respond is disabled. Before we can respond to this person, we have to say assign to me. Clicking assign to me makes it so that we are the only person that will be able to communicate with this chatter. We're the only person to be able to see what's going on back and forth. So let's say that wants to be us. Maybe we want to coordinate with Amanda. We say, hey, can you take this one? Amanda says no. And now you want to go back to here and you say, okay, well, I can take her now. Right? Assigned to me. This conversation has been moved from the unassigned web chats category into my web chats. And here they are. And we can say something in response. And if we go click back, we can see that, yep, this person has been notified that you've joined the chat and you have responded something to them. All right, and then from here on out, it's pretty much a chat platform. You type in something, they get it. They type in something, you get it. There's a couple extra things that are unique about this. We can click on this can icon here to bring up a list of our pre-written canned messages. Your administrator is in charge of setting all these up, so they can fill this in with whatever you want to have as an organization. They've been encouraged to put some sort of safety check welcome message in here, where maybe we want to say make sure that the person is using a safe device. So we can select that as our canned message. maybe we can go in here and change it before we send it, and click and send. The other thing that we can do here is we can select a message and click this information button here and see when the message was sent, when it is going to expire, and we have the option of deleting this message. So your administrator has set a value of how soon messages will expire. Deleting a message. So let's say you write something like this. How can't I help you? Oops, I did not mean to say can't like that. They're going to get confused and be offended. Let's delete this message, and it gets deleted off of their screen as well, and then we can retype it here. You can also delete a message that someone else has sent you. So let's say someone writes something just really like, gosh, that's really don't want to have that in any kind of digital form. I'm going to delete this, and maybe it gets off of the other person's screen. And then after you delete a message that someone else sent you, you probably want to give a little bit of an explanation about why you did that, and maybe encourage them to not say such incriminating things in this web chat. All right, so that's chatting here. There's a couple things that we can do from the channel settings. So if we click on this conversation here on this channel settings, the first thing we can do is we can rename this person. So if you've got a lot of chats going on, maybe you're talking to 3 people at once, and all 3 people are going to have different 3-digit and 6-digit numbers, and it's getting hard to tell which one is which, you can click here and you can rename. If you happen to know this person's name, then you can type in this person's name, and now everything will be renamed to that. It's probably going to be the case that you won't know their name, or you have just an organizational-wide policy of not asking people's names. If that's the case, you could put in something else that's identifying about them. So you can say DV survivor there. Maybe the next person you're talking to, you want to put SA survivor, and that way you can keep the people sorted between you. Or maybe something like, something about them that they mentioned so that you can recognize them. It's also possible that you will never use this rename feature and just everybody will be those 6-digit numbers, and that's fine. The other thing that we can do here is we can choose to mute somebody. And when we mute somebody, their conversation will have this strike through. And muting would mean, let's say we go back to internal messages and we're chatting with somebody else, and then this person is saying terrible things. We're not going to get new message notifications from them. It's not going to beep. It's not going to highlight them in orange, but we can still come back and we can see what they're saying. So this is one potential thing that you could do if somebody is acting abusively. It's our recommendation that is the second that you realize that the person who you're speaking to is not a legitimate person, they're just a prankster, an abuser, or whatever, absolutely no response back. No goodbyes, no please stop messaging us. You should either just mute them or ignore them. So ignoring, we would click like this, and now this person is off of our web chats and they're gone to us. But as far as this person is concerned, they're still around, and they still think that they're sending you messages. All right, so really recommend making it so that the person that is acting abusively has absolutely no response from you whatsoever. Now, of course, this person could just come back here and reload the page, and now they've been issued a brand new session, and here we are. We've got them back again. So the system will not remember who somebody is over and over again. So this is a good reminder here of it won't remember who the bad people are, and it won't remember who the good people are. So if somebody's using the chat today and they come back and they want to come chat with you tomorrow, it will have no way of telling you that this is the same person that was here yesterday. Also keep in mind that if somebody is saying that they are the same person that you were chatting with yesterday, you have no idea if that's the case. If you would all suspect that somebody is not who they say they are, You're highly encouraged to respond back to them and say, hey, maybe you should give our organization a call and let's talk over the phone. I noticed some things potentially being off about this conversation. Just always remember that just because somebody says something on the internet, says who they are, doesn't mean that they actually are who they are. Okay, so this new person says, I hate you, and we are going to ignore them. What we do not want to do, actually, is we do not want to delete them. Whenever we delete somebody who is an active chatter, what happens is it automatically kicks them off to their quick escape location. So somebody who's chatting with us here can click quick escape. It's pretty much a standard for a lot of these confidential conversations. They can create quick escape and it will take them to the Google homepage. So if we click delete to this person, we go back, they've been kicked off to the Google homepage. And we don't want to do this to abusive people who are being abusive, because that acts as some sort of way of telling them, okay, I've gotten your message, I know you're being abusive, and I'm getting you out of here. It's much better to just ignore them and let them think that they're continuing to talk to them. This delete feature, and of course we can just go back and they get issued a whole brand new ID again. And now let's pretend we're somebody who actually needs help. Okay, and now here they are. We've got a whole brand new 6-digit number. Click this, assign to me. If this person does not say anything within a certain period of time, or you don't say anything to them within a certain period of time, your administrator at your site is the one to set what this period of time is. Maybe it's like 3, 5, 10 minutes. This person will get a warning and say, hey, if you don't say anything in the next 1 minute, you're going to be kicked off and sent to the quick escape location. And you will be notified that this person has gotten that alert as well. So maybe they just had to leave the computer, and they want to, it's a security precaution to make sure that whatever they've said on the computer does not stay on there. You will be notified if somebody clicks the quick escape button. So let's try it now. All right, I've gone off to Google, and we go back. So it's telling us, okay, this person clicked the quick escape button and then they left. So now this conversation is done, this person is gone, what do we do with it? Highly encourage you to anytime, always, a conversation is done, just delete it. It's gone. There's no sense in keeping it. Keep in mind, this is meant to be kind of an extension to your organization's phone hotline. And if you wouldn't record somebody's phone calls, you really shouldn't be recording forever and ever their web conversations. So please just record what you need to, take notes about what this conversation was about if you have some sort of demographics like that, but then when you're done, just click delete and get rid of it so it's not here anymore. And now we're back to the internal messages section because we are done with that conversation. A couple more things to note about web chatters. Let's go back here and create a whole new session. All right, so let's say we've gone to here and we've clicked assign to me. And now this person started talking to us and we realize we're actually not the best person to be responding to this chatter. Or maybe this person you've been talking to them with a really long time and it's time for you to go off shift and you would like somebody else to communicate with them. You can click on the settings and say unassign. And now this conversation has gone back into the unassigned web chats. And now maybe Amanda on her end wants to go through and click assign to me in order to grab it. And so once she does that, then the conversation is off of your list because Amanda is the one responding to them. One more thing before we get into the SMS chats, because not all of you will have the SMS chats, just want to make sure that you see up here, you can click on your name to go to your user account settings, which is basically just changing your password right now. You can choose to log out, or you can change what sound is made when you have a new message. So you have an option, some choices of sounds the system can make there. Okay, let's talk about what happens when somebody sends you a text message. So I've done a sample message here, and in a moment we should see that this person shows up in our list. So it's just the same as your unassigned web chats versus your My Web Chats. We have unassigned SMS chats. We can click on there, and we can click Assign to Me in order to respond to them. And now they get moved to your My SMS chats. Your canned messages all work the exact same way as they do on the web chats. It's just the exact same messages. So maybe you want to have special messages that are just set up for just SMS chatters. Something like, can you switch to the web chat? Your administrator has been highly encouraged to make it a practice within your organization to get people to move from the SMS chat over to the web chat. So if somebody who's on a smartphone, all they have to do is they'll see this message with this link in it, and all they have to do is click that link. So I've done so on my phone here, and now it's opening up the web chat on my smartphone, and here we are, this new web chat person has come here. So there's no way to know that this same person was the same person that just joined over here, but it shouldn't quite matter because you really haven't said anything yet. And it also should be pretty obvious. Somebody messaged here, and then a moment later they messaged over there. Okay, so if the quicker you can get them onto the web chat, the better. It's just faster. It's end-to-end encrypted. SMS chats cannot be end-to-end encrypted. The web chats, when I click over here and I choose to delete this conversation, it is gone. That is gone. The only way that conversation could have still existed is if that person took a screenshot on their phone or something like that. But with SMS chats, if I were to go here and I were to delete this, it might be gone from our side of things, but it can't. There's no way to tell a phone to delete text messages. They've got to delete them themselves. So you can be in the practice of telling them and say, hey, can you make sure you delete this conversation when you're done? But that doesn't mean that it'll actually be done like the way you think it should. So that's just yet another reason why it's better to get people over to this web chat feature as soon as possible. All right, other things to note about SMS chats, you're not going to be able to see when they're typing. They're not going to be able to see when you're typing. They're not going to be able to see your name. They just see your organization's phone number. Just try to keep in mind that there's no possibility to do anything fancy with text messages. It's kind of something that was invented in the early 90s, and it kind of is what it is. You will notice that when you're typing in here, that on the bottom right, it's letting you know how many characters you've entered in. So I've entered in 5 characters, and that's going to end up being 1 SMS unit. So if I were to keep typing to past 165 something characters, then it's going to switch and say, okay, now this ends up being 2 SMS units. So your organization gets charged for every message that comes in and every message that goes out. So if you do this, that just costs your organization, somewhere between 2 and 3 cents. The last thing to note that's different between web chats and SMS chats is the ignore feature. So on web chats, when we ignore somebody, they can just reload and create a brand new session and continue bothering you. But SMS chats, that's a little bit different. We can actually remember their phone number, and we can say, okay, this person should not, we don't want to see the messages by this person ever again. However, know that when you ignore somebody and they keep texting you, your organization is still going to get charged for every text message that they send you. It's not the most ideal situation. There's a help file on the homepage that explains why that has to be the case. So it might be such that you would want to maybe just mute this person instead. You can come back go back to the internal messages and tell Amanda, hey, watch out for number 255078. And you can always come back here and you can see what terrible things they've continued to say to you and get a sense of that. But at least you can see how many messages they're sending you and kind of what they're saying. Again, just want to remind you that when you click delete, all those messages are now gone from the ResourceConnect server. And they still remain on that person's phone unless they've actually deleted them, and they won't know that they've been deleted. So if this person texts in again, so I'll do it now, this person just got a whole brand new number because we completely deleted everything about them on our server. All right, that's the training for the provider chat. I really hope that this is helpful for your organization and you're able to help so many people with this tool. Thanks.